Good day, learners! Welcome to the new episode of Math Corner. Now, for today's video, I'm going to teach you the other method in solving systems of linear equations in two variables, which is called substitution method. In my previous video, I already taught you about elimination method as well as the word problem. Now, for today, I'm going to teach you about substitution method. Now, let's take a look with this example. A plus B equals 12, which is our equation number 1. A minus B equals 8, which is our equation number 2. Now, in solving for these systems of linear equations using substitution method, there are 4 steps that we have to follow. The first step will be choose one equation and express one variable as the subject of the equation. Now, what does it mean? We have to choose first which among the two equations given we are going to use. After that one, we are going to choose which among the variable given we are going to use as the subject of our solution. So first, we are going to choose either equation 1 or equation 2. So in my case, I will choose equation number 1. It's up to you. It's up to your own choice. So after we choose equation 1, we are going to choose what variable we are going to use, either A or B, as the subject of our solution. So for example, I will use A as the subject of our solution. So we have here step number 1, solve for A that is in equation number, you have to indicate what number of the equation. Equation number 1. Okay. So we have here solve for A, equation number 1. So using equation number 1, we have here A plus B equals 12. And then solve for A, that is A equals 12 minus B. This is now our equation number 3. Now, as you can see, there are already 3 equations given. Equation number 1 and 2, the original equations. And we have here the derived equations from the equation number 1, which is called our equation number 3. Now, second step. Substitute the expression for the variable, the subject, into the other equation. Okay, what does it mean? Since we already have the value of our A, we will substitute A to the equations we didn't choose in our first step. Since we choose equation 1 in our step number 1, we will choose now equation number 2 in our second step. That is substitute. So we are going to write here substitute A to equation number 2. Because we already used equation number 1 here. So we cannot use any more equation number 1. So we will settle for equation number 2. Okay, so using equation number 2, we have here A minus B equals 8. And then we are going to substitute A, which is 12 minus B. So that will be what? So we have 12 minus B, and then copy minus B equals 8. And then combine similar terms. Negative B minus B, that is negative 2B, equals 8. Transpose to the other side, minus 12. And then simplify. So we have negative 2B equals negative 4. And then that is B equals positive 2. Okay, since we already have the value of B, which is positive 2, it is our goal now to solve for the remaining variable, which is the variable letter A. So what are we going to do? We are going to substitute B to equation number, that's correct, equation number 3. So we have here, we are going to continue our solution here. So we have here substitute B to equation number 3. Okay, what is our equation number 3? This is our equation number 3. So using this one, A equals 12 minus B, and then substitute B, which is positive 2, that is 12 minus 2. That means our A is positive 10. So that is all about how to solve systems of linear equations using substitution method. Let's take a look with our example number 2. Given the systems of linear equation, which is 2m plus n is equal to 7, which is our equation number 1, and 3m minus 2n is equal to 14, which is our equation number 2. Now remember, our first step will be we are going to choose what particular equation we are going to use. And then after we choose what equation, we are going to choose now what particular variable we are going to choose as the subject of our equation. So let us choose first the equation. So I will choose equation number 1. And I will choose variable n as the subject of our solution. So we have here solve for n, equation number 1. Okay. So since we choose equation number 1, so we have here, we are going to write 2m plus n equals 7, and then solve for n, because that is the subject of our solution. That is n equals 7 minus 2m. So this will be our equation number 3. Second step, we are going to substitute our n to the equation that we didn't choose from our step number 1. So since we choose equation 1 in our step number 1, we are going to use now equation number 2 for our step number 2. Okay, so we have here substitute n to equation number 2. Since we already used equation number 1 earlier. So we will settle now equation number 2. So using equation number 2, which is 3m minus 2n equals 14, we are going to substitute n, which is 7 minus 2m, to here. Okay. So we have here 3m minus 2 times, that is 7 minus 2m, equals 14. So we have here n is equal to 7 minus 2m. And then distribute 2 to the two terms inside the parentheses first. So we have here 3m minus 14, negative 2 times negative 2m, that is plus 4m, equals 14. And then combine similar terms. That means 3m plus 4m, that is 7m, equals 14, and then transpose to the other side, that will become plus 14. So we have here 7m equals 28. Therefore, our m is equal to positive 4. Now, what's the last step? The next step will be, since we already have the value of m, which is positive 4, we will solve now the remaining unknown variable, which is letter n. So what are we going to do? We are going to utilize equation number 3. Okay. So we are going to continue our solution right here using equation number 3, which is n is equal to 7 minus 2m. So we have here substitute m to equation number 3. Okay. Using equation number 3, which is n equals 7 minus 2m, 7 minus 2 times, since the value of m is 4, so we will write here 4, equals 7 minus 2 times 4 is 8. Therefore, our n is negative 1. Therefore, the value of our variables or the unknown variables are m is equal to 4 and n is equal to negative 1. Before we'll end our discussion for today, let's have a recap of the steps in solving systems of linear equation using substitution method. First step, choose what equation you are going to use and choose what variable you are going to use as the subject of the equation. Just like here, you choose letter n as the subject of the equation. So you solve for n. And then you choose first equation number 1. Okay? But you can also choose equation number 2. It's up to you. Now, just a little tip for you. In choosing a variable, choose a variable that has as much as possible that has 1 as the coefficient. Just like this one, we have here a variable that has 1 as the coefficient. Choose that one as the subject of our equation because it is easy for you to solve for the value of that variable, just like this one here. Step number 2, substitute the variable obtained in step number 1 to the equation that is not being used in step number 1. For example, in step number 1, we used equation number 1. That means in step number 2, we will utilize equation number 2. But that is not always the case. If you already use equation number 2 here in step number 1, you will use equation number 1 in step number 2. Okay, next. After you solve for the value of one variable here, we will proceed now in solving for the remaining variable. So just like here, we are going to substitute the variable obtained in step number 2 to our equation number 3. That is the third step. So we have here substitute m to equation number 3. Okay, since our m is 4, that means we have here, we are going to substitute 4 to our variable m. And that will be the final step in solving systems of linear equations using substitution method.